स्टार्ट करेंगे।
Namaskar, good morning, and welcome once again to the next session, that is the third session of MMPC 020 Business Ethics and Corporate Social Responsibility, that is CSR. We had completed the first and second sessions earlier. Today we move on with the third session. I am Dr. Siran Mukeji, Additional Director at IGNOU Regional Center, Noida. Okay, we will, since we had the first and second session quite some time back, so maybe we could just quickly look into the structure once again, just a quick recap, a quick review of the course structure. Well, as you all know, we have in this MMPC 020, we have four blocks, block 1, 2, 3, and 4. Block 1 is pertaining to ethics and business. Block 2 relates to evolution and concept of corporate social responsibility. Block 3 is related to corporate social responsibility in our country, that is in India. And Block 4, we discuss corporate social responsibility, implementation, and sustainability. Well, so far in the first session of this particular course code, we had completed business ethics, introduction to business ethics, and we had also studied in brief about the concepts and theories of business ethics. In the second session, we had discussed the ethical dilemmas in business and ethics in business. We moving on, what we do we going to study today block 2, that is evolution and concept of corporate social responsibility. And in this, what we are going to discuss today is corporate social responsibility in introduction, that is an overview, and also we are going to study the business strategy in corporate social responsibility. So I hope we are all ready. Let's begin with corporate social responsibility and overview. But before we move on with that, let us quickly have a quick review of the learning outcomes of this course, MMPC 020. Now, learning outcomes, which means that at the end of this course, you should be capable of handling MMPC 020. You should be capable of explaining what is corporate social responsibility. You should be capable of explaining what is business ethics, and you should have fairly good knowledge of business ethics and corporate social responsibility. So what is the learning outcome of this particular course code? Well, the learning outcomes are to understand the concept and importance of ethics in business, then to understand the different theories of ethics, to have a clear comprehension of link of business strategy with ethics. Then we would also be able to understand the ethical aspects of a business from an individual point of view, from a business point of view, and from the society framework. Then we will also, as a result of this particular course code, we should be at the end of this course code, we should also be having the knowledge of legislation and CSR policy guidelines in India. That is, if you remember, I told you that the third block is basically CSR in India, that is the Indian context. So naturally, you are expected to have fairly good knowledge about the legislations and also the policy guidelines of corporate social responsibility in our country. And then the last learning outcome is CSR, the reporting process and auditing, that is the implementation of CSR policies in the business, in the corporate houses. Well, let us now continue with the block 2, evolution and concept of corporate social responsibility. And in this block, we have 4 units. Fifth, that is unit 5, 6, 7, and 8. Unit 1 to 4 we have already completed in the first block. Now, Unit 5, CSR and overview. Unit 6, business strategy in CSR. That is the relationship between the business strategy and corporate social responsibility in the organization. Okay, now let's move on with the Unit 5, that is corporate social responsibility and overview. Now, what are the objectives of this unit? At the end of this unit, you are expected to get an overview of corporate social responsibility and its relationship with the shareholders. Now, see, we have in this unit, we are going to discuss corporate social responsibility for the shareholders and how corporate social responsibility has evolved from the shareholder point of view to stakeholder point of view. That is, we would be able to understand the stakeholders' relationship with business in this unit. Then, as a result of this, at the end of this unit, as a result of studying this particular unit, you would also explore the relation of government, customers, civil society organizations with business responsibility, and also you would be able to understand corporate citizenship and business responsibility. We all know that we are citizens, but here we are also going to discuss how a company, an organization, a corporate body is also considered to be a citizen, that is, a corporate citizen, and what are its business responsibilities towards corporate social responsibility. So, these are the objectives of this particular unit. We look into each one of them one by one now. Now, CSR and overview, that is an introduction to corporate social responsibility. Now, you know, corporate social responsibility is basically, it is a very big responsibility on the organizations, and it is considered to be a challenge for the business and its practitioners. That is, the people who are there in the business organization, the people who are there in the corporate bodies, the people who are there in the companies, for them to implement and to adopt corporate social responsibility policies and ensure that it is implemented, and to ensure that the benefits actually reach to the ultimate stakeholders. That is a very big challenge. It is a it is a kind of responsibility that they have towards the stakeholders. Why? Now, the stakeholders could be the employees, the stakeholders could be the customers, the stakeholders could be the government, stakeholders could be the suppliers. So, the organization has a very big responsibility towards all its stakeholders. It's just not that it has only the responsibility towards looking after the general interests of the shareholders. No, it has a lot of responsibility towards its stakeholders. And as we all know that corporate bodies, these are all complex entities. They are very big, large organizations, and it is necessary for them mm, to communicate with the stakeholders for the benefit of both. That is, it should not be only communicating with the customers and the suppliers and trying to ensure that the government rules and regulations are implemented while doing the business dealings. Well, no. It also has a responsibility. Every company has a responsibility to communicate with the stakeholders, so that both, that is the company and the stakeholders, they benefit from each other. So we can say that profit maximization or just enhancing business is not the only responsibility of the company. The company also has a responsibility of looking after the society as a whole in terms of its fulfillment of responsibility, that we call as corporate social responsibility. Then it also needs to look into the unwanted consequences of corporate material well-being. Like if the corporate body, that is the company, is increasing its operations, it's increasing its size, it's increasing in its dimensions, it is growing, it is expanding, it is diversifying. So if the organization is growing, what is the effect of this growth on the society or on the stakeholders and the shareholders? Obviously, the shareholders will tend to gain, but in general, what is the benefit, or what is it benefiting the growth of the organization? Is it benefiting the stakeholders, or it is also harming the stakeholders? That is also the responsibility that also comes under the purview of corporate social responsibility of a company. And it becomes the responsibility of the company to not only look at providing benefit, providing profit to the shareholders, but it is also the responsibility of the company to see that if there is any harm, uh, if there is any harm towards the society, if the society or the other stakeholders are getting harmed by the organization, by the activities of the organization, or let's say the activities are detrimental to the towards the stakeholders, towards the growth of the stakeholders, toward the benefit of the stakeholders, then it is corporate social responsibility also entails looking at these harmful effects of the organization, of the growth of the organization, and how these can be combated. That is how the harmful effect can be mitigated, so that whatever work the company is doing, it not only provides benefit, it is not only beneficial for the company, but it should, and in the long run, be also beneficial for its stakeholders, for the customers, for the society as a whole. So you see, corporate social responsibility is basically the responsibility, the duties that need to be fulfilled by the company, so that along with its profitability, the stakeholders, the shareholders obviously will tend to gain, but the society as a whole should also tend to gain. That is, we think that we are producing the products or whatever we are trying to do, products or services, we are providing it to whom? We are providing it to the society. People, our customers are part of the society. Now they are buying our products, they are using our services, and that's how we are. Without the customers, we stand nowhere. So because of that, the we our profit is increasing. So don't you think it becomes the responsibility of the company to also look towards these people, to see whether their activities are not harming these people? And at the same time, if suppose we have a profit of 100 million rupees, don't you think it is the responsibility of the company to at least contribute 10% or 5% of this profit towards the overall well-being of the society? It is mandatory for them to do that. Now, it also means corporate social responsibility also means a change in the corporate behavior. That is the overall behavior, their overall demeanor, how they are acting, how they are behaving towards, how they are treating the stakeholders. That is how they are treating the public, the employees, the consumers, the investors, ecologists, etc. Now, what are the factors responsible for this CSR movement? See, earlier we never, many years back, we never used to see much about CSR activities. We would just see the companies growing, the companies are functioning, and people are buying their products, people are using their services, they're buying their services, but we never used to see much of the the activities that the company would do towards improvement of the society, improvement of the environment, towards protection of the environment, towards ecological protection. We never used to see all that before, but now we see that things are really changing. And most of the companies, most of the good companies, they always try to contribute towards the overall well-being of the society. That's where CSR comes into play. So CSR involves, what does it involve? It involves stopping any kind of unhealthy and unsafe practices, and stopping dumping harmful material or waste in the river, sea, ocean. That is, sometimes we see that the government takes action against certain industries, certain factories, because they have. We often read in the newspaper that effluents have been flowing into the river from such and such industry, because of which the industry has been sealed, the factory has been closed. The government has given orders for the closure of this factory. Well, that is not what is considered to be a part of CSR. CSR is, it is required for the company to be proactive. Why wait for the government to implement regulations towards harming, towards protecting the environment, or regulations so that the organizational activities don't harm the society? No, the company itself should be proactive, so that it doesn't let the industrial waste, industrial effluents to be released in the rivers, towards seas, towards any natural water body for that matter. It also involves protecting personal privacy from social media. Like you must have seen, we often there are marketing campaigns, and there are feedbacks that the companies take from the customers. And in that, at the end, there's always one line which is mentioned, that is, it is ensured, it is the commitment of the company that the information collected through this particular feedback will at no cost be used uh, for in the public media, will not be released for that matter. So basically, we have to protect. It is also the responsibility. Now it has become all the more important because of the prevalence of the growth and prevalence of social media. It also becomes the responsibility, corporate social responsibility of the company, to protect the privacy of its customers. That is, the information that they are collecting by way of feedback, by way of customer relations, by way of consumer behavior feedback. That information should remain within the company itself. There should not be scope for any kind of data leakage. So all these activities are part of CSR. Now, CSR is a challenge to prevailing ways. According to Carol Ayol, CSR is basically a challenge to prevailing ways of doing things, producing conflict which is met with resistance, negotiation, dialogue, and on agreement. Wide range of policies and programs are there to address the responsibilities. See, there are policies and programs which are implemented by the companies. There are company policies and programs, company projects, so as to address the activities which might be harming the society, which might be harming the environment. But at the same time, there are also policies and programs of the government so as to prevent these organizations from harming the society, from harming the environment. So it is both ways. The government also has its policies and programs in place to prevent the organizations from doing anything that could be detrimental towards the society. At the same time, there are also organizations, the companies, which on its own, they on their own, what they do, they formulate policies, they develop programs, they implement projects, so that any kind of detrimental effect is prevented, any kind of harmful effect is prevented towards the society, towards the people, towards all its stakeholders for that matter. So you might have also seen that, as a part of corporate social responsibilities, nowadays the companies, they have schools, they have colleges, they have universities, wherein they are trying to provide education to the society. The schools wherein, the education is free to the students, free education to the students. So that is what the part of the profit is being utilized for providing education to the people, to the children of the society. Why? Because the companies feel it is their responsibility to contribute towards the stakeholders from whom they are getting so much, because it is because of the stakeholders these companies exist. Then, nowadays you must have also seen that there are a lot of many socio-cultural issues which are related to women and child welfare, which are being taken care of by the companies. So that also is a part of corporate social responsibility. Now, there are also other factors. We are looking at factors which are responsible for the growth and rise of CSR movement. What are the other industrial betterment and welfare movements set in motion for CSR in Europe and USA? Industrial betterment and welfare. So, it is just not the business, it is just not the profitability, it is just not the growth and expansion of the company that is important for the organizations. It is also welfare towards the society. That is, we are looking towards social welfare, which has led to the CSR, led to the increase in the CSR movement in Europe and USA. There also is the added concern for the employees, the philanthropy, that is kindness, acts of kindness towards the organization, towards the employees, towards the society by the organization. So what organization is doing, along with formulating these strategies for its own growth, it is also formulating CSR strategies for the growth of the society, for the well-being of the society, for the welfare of the society. So profit maximization is is going hand to hand, is uh, is with the social responsibility. So they go parallel, both go parallel. Profit maximization starts with also profit maximization phase, wherein the organization is flourishing. So that is also coupled with development of social responsibility trusteeship phase, which makes the managers responsible towards the customers, employees, and community. That's why there is a major shift from just shareholder perspective to stakeholder perspective. All the organizations are now not only looking towards the providing benefit to its shareholder, it is also looking towards providing benefit to its stakeholders. So basically, can we say that CSR, corporate social responsibility, is a social investment? It is a social movement. It is a part of strategic philanthropy leading to improved accessibility to high quality resources. Why high quality resources? Because nowadays, earlier, they were, employees would come to the organization, they would work, and they would go back home. They would only be concerned about the salary. But now it's not like that. Actually, in good companies, the employees also look towards the organization to see whether the work that they are doing, is it causing harm to the environment, is it causing harm to the other people? Is it whether the organization is looking towards the welfare of the women employees in the organization? How its strategies are contributing towards the welfare of children, welfare of women? So all these things, if are being taken care by the organization, then the organization will be more and more popular. The company will be more and more popular amongst the employees, amongst the stakeholders. Otherwise, although see, employees will continue working, but they will not be happy to work in such an organization which is not taking care of its employees, which is not taking care of its women employees, which is not doing anything for the society, which is not doing anything for the upliftment of the people, which is not doing anything for the children. So, the organization nowadays has to be very much proactive in providing benefit, in providing welfare to the people, to the women, to the children, towards the environment, towards the society as a whole. Now, CSR, as I've been telling you, nowadays we are not only looking towards the shareholder. The CSR is basically a step towards moving from only shareholder centric policies to stakeholder centric policies. So, stakeholder as a concept was first used in 1963 at the Stanford Research Institute. And what does it look at? It looks at maximizing stakeholders' contribution rather than maximizing shareholder value. So we contribute towards the improvement, towards the betterment of all the stakeholders. Shareholder is only one of the stakeholder. Please remember that. So we are not only looking at the improvement of the life of the shareholder, that is the people who own the shares of the company. No, we are also looking towards overall improvement of the society as a whole. So we are also looking towards contributing towards the contributing to the improvement of the society. So what does that mean? It means that business impacts those who have or may not have direct. See, employees have direct engagement, shareholders have direct engagement, suppliers have direct engagement, customers have direct engagement with the company. But there is also a certain segment in the society which, although does not have direct engagement with the company, but it is getting affected. It does get affected by the activities, by the policies, by the strategies of the company. How? Like for example, the company has a factory wherein the effluents are going into the water bodies, natural water bodies. Water is getting polluted. Now it has a factory wherein which is causing a lot of air pollution. So don't you think it is affecting the people who don't have anything to do with directly to do with the company? But yes, it is causing pollution, it is causing air pollution, it is causing water pollution, it may even cause noise pollution. So all those residents, all those households which are around the such kind of noise polluting industries, they get affected indirectly. So it is the responsibility of the company to not only look towards its shareholders, but it also needs to look towards all its stakeholders, and I would say beyond the stakeholders, all those people who are around the company, around the all those people who are near the, or they are in any case somehow if getting affected. It is the responsibility of the company to look towards their well-being, their welfare. So each stakeholder is obviously concerned with the economic growth of the business, and their future depends on it. The future certainly depends on it, not only in terms of monetary terms, not only in terms of financial incentives, not only in terms of profit maximization, but also in terms of having good, healthy life living, healthy dwelling, healthy environment, ecological balance. Because you've seen the kind of effect, the kind of harm the global warming is causing. How is global warming happening? Global warming is not just not, it's just not being done caused by one factor. We are all together responsible towards this the effects of global warming. Like you see, very frequently you are seeing earthquakes, very frequently you are seeing floods, very frequently you are seeing forest fires nowadays. Like it's in the news in India. There is a huge forest fire in Uttarakhand. So, what is the? How are all these happening? This is all happening because of global warming. And who is causing it? We are all together contributing towards causing detrimental effect to the environment, to the society as a whole. And the company is equally responsible with its activities. It should be able to see that in no way it is causing any kind of harm to the people. We would also now here study shareholder to stakeholder perspective, how the corporate social responsibility movement has moved from shareholder to stakeholder, according to the famous management thinker Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker stressed the idea that profitability and responsibility are compatible. That is, they go hand in hand. So companies not only look towards profitability, the companies would also look towards their responsibility towards the society. And the prime challenge is to convert social problem into economic opportunities. That is, we there are social problems, there are many problems in the society. So how, what kind of activities, what kind of strategies the organization can develop, can implement, can formulate and implement, can execute, so that such social problems, they actually act as, they actually prove to be economic opportunities for the organization. So that is what is, according to Peter Drucker, the movement of corporate social responsibility from shareholder to stakeholder. And what Peter Drucker has said is that economic benefits should move towards productive capacity, and then this productive capacity should move towards enhancing the human competence. So under certain conditions, the satisfaction of social interests contributes to maximizing shareholder value. So shareholder value is not only by increasing the values of the share, but also by looking towards the social interest, by looking towards the social welfare, by looking towards women and child welfare, that also maximizes the shareholders' value. Thus, large corporations should pay attention to CSR activities. And according to Peter Drucker, in the long run, in the long term gains, economic success cannot be achieved only with shareholders' interest, but also with those of other stakeholders such as employees, customers, suppliers, local communities, and other stakes in the who have stakes in the company. Now, stakeholders and corporate social responsibility. What are the stakeholders? The stakeholders can be studied under four heads: the customer and business responsibility, government and business responsibility, NGO, civil society organizations and business responsibility, and stakeholders and corporate social responsibility. Let's look at one by one. Well, the first one, customers and business responsibility. Earlier, see, customers used to be happy only with the kind of product they are getting. Uh, they were not really quality conscious, but now, see, quality has become more and more important. And along with the quality of the product that the customers are getting, the what kind of effect these products, the manufacturing of these products is having on the society, on the environment, on the whether it's causing any kind of ecological disbalance, well, that also is the concern of the consumers nowadays. And that's how they are directly as a consumer they are involved with the business, but indirectly also they are involved with the business. So consumers are aware about consumers are now becoming aware of the production process, working conditions. The consumers will not like to buy any product which is causing that product, manufacturing of that product is causing any harm to the employees, any harm to the society, any harm to the environment as a whole. Like for example, if suppose you get to know that you are buying a particular product, let's say a shirt, and you get to know that there is child labor involved in manufacturing of this shirt, would you go and buy that shirt? No, you would not. Well, that is the example of consumers becoming aware about production process. Now, CSR is also concerned in the purchase process by the consumers. Whether, let's say if the products are being sold in a particular store, in the, let's say, in a supermarket, in the mall, whether the operation of the mall, whether the operation of the supermarket, is it causing any kind of harm to the society? Well, that also, if in case we see that by establishment of a mall somewhere, by setting up of a mall, it is detrimental to the society as a whole, it's causing a lot of pollution, will we accept that mall? We will not. There will be civil societies, there would be NGOs which would immediately raise their voice and try to stop the operation of such a mall. Then it also provides motivation to the companies to be socially and environmentally. See, if you're the companies, if they are socially responsible, they are environmentally responsible, they see that their products are not causing any kind of harm to the society, to the people, to the well-being of the children in the society, then it becomes it acts as a positive incentive, as a motivation for the companies. Then government and business responsibility. Now, not only the company, but the government also has responsibility. So what by how does it fulfill its responsibility? It fulfills its responsibility by formulating, setting up, formulating, and trying to execute right kinds of rules and regulations for the companies. If that is how the government will fulfill its responsibility towards the society. Government plays a very important role in encouraging business to adopt CSR. So, the right kind of policies formulated and acted by the government towards preventing any kind of harm to the society, that also indirectly, why indirectly, that also directly plays a very important role in promoting corporate social responsibility practices in the organization. So, government, what does the government do? How does it do it? It uses methods such as endorsements, exhortations, partnerships. Like, for example, there are CSR awards. The government gives CSR awards to the companies. Those companies, like, there are let's say CSR award for the year 2023, CSR award for the year 2022, CSR award for the year 2024. Wherein what they do, they try to see which all the companies, they try to assess whether the companies in a particular sector, how they have been functioning, whether their activities are in any way detrimental to the society, or not only detrimental, why take it only in negative sense, what are the activities that the company has been doing for improving the society. Like, for example, stopping child labor, for example, promoting child education, promoting higher education in the society, promoting healthcare facilities. Let's say the company has established a state of the art latest hospital in a particular village. Now, that is a CSR contribution. So what does the government do? It tries to assess what kind of positive effects, what kind of positive activities the company is doing towards the society, and accordingly they give them awards. The company or the government also goes into partnership with the organization, towards towards let's say preventing any kind of environmental activities that might be detrimental towards the ecology, towards the environment. Then government also encourages CSR to solve, as I said, issues like education, unemployment, vocational training, mental health, health problems, social exclusion. All these things are social problems. So the government tries to implement policies uh, which enables the companies to contribute towards eradication of such kind of social problems. Now, NGO and civil society organizations, they also have a major responsibility towards implementing CSR, towards getting CSR implemented by the companies. Globalization has, as we see, has led to growth of CSR reflecting government issues, and NGOs are playing a very, very important role. NGOs are actively campaigning for inclusion of labor, human rights, environmental standards in trade agreements. Like, for example, wherever there is, for example, any kind of malpractice in any company, let's say industry, factory, there is some kind of child labor, there is some kind of some activity that is harming the environment. Immediately there would be environmentalists, there would be civil service organizations, civil society organizations. They would immediately raise their voice, and they will try to prevent such kind of harmful activities by the company. And in India, well, NGOs have been recognized, for their role in development from first 5-year plan itself. Way back, see, from the first 5-year plan, the NGOs have been recognized for their role in corporate social responsibility, and this role has been recognized more and more from second 5-year plan onwards, and in ultimately in the eighth 5-year plan, that is 1992 to 1997, called for a collaborate. It recognized the collaborative relationship between the government and the NGOs. So we consider that the NGOs have a major role to play towards improving the society, and towards helping the organizations to fulfill their corporate social responsibilities. Now, we talk of corporate citizenship and business. See, we are, as I said in the very beginning, we are citizens. We are citizens of the country. Similarly, the companies are also considered to be citizen. A firm, a company, an organization is also considered to be a citizen. What kind of citizen? A corporate citizen. So the responsibilities, the duties and responsibilities that as a citizen we have, similar duties and responsibilities, the corporate bodies, the companies, the firms, they also have similar responsibilities, duties and responsibilities. What does it mean? The idea that of a firm as a citizen has been put forward by many thinkers, many thinkers of corporate social responsibility. They have said that it is not only the responsibility of the citizens. It is not only the citizen partnership. It is citizen participation in the improvement of the administration. It is also the corporate partnership. The companies, the firms, they also have equal responsibility. They also should go in hand. They should also partner with the government towards what? Towards implementation of corporate social responsibility to activities, towards fulfilling the corporate social responsibilities of the organization. So it is socially, it becomes socially responsible to comply by the rules, by the regulations, by the laws. If, let's say, if the company is fulfilling, is complying by the laws, is implementing the rules and regulations in its organization, then it is considered to be a good corporate citizen. Otherwise, no. If the rules and regulations which are there, which the government has formulated to be implemented by the corporate bodies, if the rules and regulations are implemented in letter and spirit, and even more by the companies, then in that case it is considered to be socially responsible. Then in that case the company is considered to be a good corporate citizen, a responsible corporate citizen, a dutiful corporate citizen. Otherwise, no. It, and all this is basically, it is reflected in the activities, in the kind of assistance the company is providing towards community well-being through financial and non-financial. One is direct financial contribution. Let's say it gives, there is a village, it gives, or let's say the road needs to be constructed, and in the village. So what, or let's say in the city, in a particular area in the city, what does the company do? It, let's say it would donate a certain amount of money towards the construction of the road. Or for example, there are green areas which are not being maintained, and what the company will do, it would say that I'm adopting this particular green area, I'm converting it into a children's park. So this is what, that is financial contribution. Just by giving money, let's say it gives money to the to a particular school, that is financial contribution. Non-financial contribution is it constructs a school in, let's say there is a village where there is, so far there is no good school. What will the company do? The company will go and construct and manage a very good school there, make a school, provide free education in that school to all the people, to all the villagers there. So that is a non-financial contribution. Or for that matter, they see that in a particular, in a village, there aren't good hospitals, so, or good public health centers, community health centers. So what it does, if there are, let's say in that region there are 10 villages, it, what it does, it constructs and it manages 10 community health centers in these 10 villages. So indirectly, it is fulfilling its responsibility toward the society by providing educational services and medical and healthcare services to the people of that area. So thus what happens is there is a very strong bond grows between the company and the stakeholders. Obviously, we as stakeholders, or let's say those villagers where schools are being managed by a particular company, where there is a university established by a company, where there is a hospital managed by a company, let's say a corporate hospital, but giving free healthcare facilities, or let's say very subsidized healthcare facilities to the people of that village. Don't you think that the people in that village, they would look very positively towards that company, and thus there would be a very good, strong, healthy relationship between the company and the stakeholders. So you see, citizens have a responsibility towards the government, citizens have a responsibility towards the society. At the same time, the companies also have responsibility towards the society, towards the people, towards the government. And the company which which tries to contribute towards such kind of activities, towards positive activities, towards developmental activities of of the society, that particular company is considered to be a good corporate citizen, which is fulfilling its duties, fulfilling its responsibilities towards the society, not only towards the shareholders, but towards all the stakeholders and towards the society, towards the community as a whole. So, what does it do? By doing this, a very good relationship is developed between the civilians, toward between the citizens and between and the organization, and thus both of them, they have a kind of strong linkage, they have a respect for each other. So it is in a way kind of an act of giving back to the society, because society is giving a lot to the company. Can the company exist if the society boycotts it? No. The customers are buying the products, that's why the company is existing. So don't you think it is time for these companies now to give something in return to the people, not only to the customers, but to the society as a whole? So, if it does that, then it is considered to be a good corporate citizen. Well, we move on to the next unit, that is the unit 6, which deals with business strategy in corporate social responsibility. That is, what is the relationship between the business strategy formulation, and can business strategies also inculcate strategies which would help in fulfilling the corporate social responsibility? That is what we are going to discuss in Unit 6. And what are the objectives of this particular unit? In this unit, you will be able to examine the relationship between strategy and CSR. So, what is the relationship between business strategy and corporate social responsibility? They are very closely linked. See, very, very closely linked. We'll also discuss the reason of single rationalization of business strategy in corporate social responsibility. See, there would be some companies which would have two kinds of strategies. One would be purely business strategies, and then it would have certain policies and strategies separate from the business strategy, and these strategies would be towards providing some kind of benefit to the society as a whole. So that is external. Whereas it will be not an integrated strategy. Whereas there are companies, good companies, wherein they integrate the social responsibility, corporate responsibility strategies within the business strategy itself. That is, they consider CSR as a part and parcel of their business. These companies would be considered to be, as I said just a few minutes back, these companies would be considered to be good corporate citizens. Then we would also have a knowledge and explore the relationship shared by stakeholders and business, and we would also see the different types of business cases of corporate social responsibility as a result of the unit 6. Now let's quickly go to the concept of business strategy in corporate social responsibility. See, there are different categories of corporate social responsibility and business strategies. See, the companies, they pursue corporate social responsibility strategies to, one, defend their reputation. Obviously, as I said, the companies which look towards the well-being of the society, which look towards well-being of the children of the society, which look towards well-being of the girls, let's say education, which look towards women's healthcare, which look towards the geriatric needs, fulfilling the geriatric needs of the senior citizens senior citizens of the society. Well, that it does to defend its reputation, to enhance its reputation, not only to enhance, to defend its reputation. Then it also, companies also pursue CSR strategies to justify benefits over costs. Then it also pursues corporate social responsibility to integrate its strategies into the broader corporate strategies. Then it It pursues the corporate strategies to learn, innovate, and manage risks. No, see, no single rationalization for business strategy and CSR. It comes as a whole. It is a holistic approach. Corporate social responsibility is understood as a business's long-term self-interest. See, it is in the interest of the company. It is in the interest of the business to develop, to formulate strategies which encompasses the corporate social responsibility strategies also. The strategies for the overall well-being of the society. They should not be taken, they should not be seen as two different components of the organization. They should be seen as part and parcel, as an integral part of the company. There should be, see, that's why there is a shift from corporate philanthropy to central corporate agenda and source of competitive value. So, corporate philanthropy, that is to be kind, to be considerate, to do acts of kindness towards the society, that was earlier a separate part of the business strategy, but now it has become a part of the business strategy, whole and soul part of the business strategy, and it has occupied a central position in the corporate agenda, and it has also added to enhancing the competitive advantage, the corporate competitive advantage of the organization. The companies, what are that's why what they're trying to do, in order to have a competitive edge, to have a competitive advantage over other companies, the companies, what they are doing, they're trying to integrate corporate social responsibility into the organizational strategy. So that's what I mean to say is that corporate social responsibility becomes an integral part of the organizational strategy. Now, approaches, see, there are two approaches. There is external or peripheral approach, and there is the internal or integrated approach. This is what I was just telling you a few minutes back. What is an external or peripheral approach? The companies separate the CSR activities from the core business activities to satisfy external expectations. They know that the people, the society, the government, the stakeholders, they have expectations from the company. So what they do, they separate these two activities. They separate the CSR activity from the core business activities. Core business, that is the strategies for business enhancement, for business expansion, they are separate. And the CSR strategies, the business strategies towards fulfilling the CSR, those are separate. So, what are these? This could be outsourced CSR through charitable contributions, enabling them to garner external legitimacy while focusing on core business practices. And while their core business practices are going on, financial responsibilities are there. Their responsibility is primarily towards the organization and towards the shareholder. But in the meanwhile, what they do, they give charitable contributions, they donate money. So that is separate part, that is not integral part of the organizational activity. Then they are driven by specific stakeholder pressure. Let's say pressure comes from the stakeholders that you need, see, you are getting so much, you're gaining so much from the society, don't you think you should do something for the society? Then what they do, they'll say, okay, let us construct a hospital here for the society. So that is not coming willingly. It is not a proactive strategy. It is not coming from within. It is because of pressure being applied by, let's say, NGOs, by even civil society organizations. So that is an external or peripheral approach. It is not an integral approach. It is not something which is which the, let's say, the top management thinks of along with the business strategy. No, it considers it as an additional responsibility. Then it fails to positively impact this kind of external or peripheral approach. It fails to positively impact the business, also the societal outcomes of the company. Why? Because it is doing as a coercion, as a coercive measure. It is taking these measures because there is pressure from the external bodies, from the external stakeholders. That's why it's doing it. It's not coming willingly. So that's why it doesn't really have a very long term positive impact. On the other hand, what is the internal or integral approach? The integrated or internal approach enables companies to improve their economic and social performance by aligning what they do. They align their business activities, they align their social agenda, the business agenda, they align their corporate agenda, they align their business strategy with the social agenda. So they consider it part and parcel of their own activities, and this is where it has a positive impact on the business as well as a positive impact on the society. There are different approaches of business strategy for corporate social responsibility. So there are five approaches: cost and risk reduction, gaining competitive advantage, developing reputation and legitimacy, drawing positive outcomes through synergistic value creation, and creating value for multiple stakeholders. See, there are five approaches, different approaches of business, of integrating the business strategy for corporate social responsibilities. Now, what are these? Cost and risk reduction. These are three kinds. See, trade-off hypothesis, which is based on Milton Friedman's approach to corporate social responsibility. What does it mean? It means there's a clear difference between working for the company, its employees, consumers, and social good. There's a clear-cut difference between these two. Slack resource theory, also known as available funds theory. When firms have higher financial performance, they dedicate some amount of money to the towards the activities pertaining to corporate social responsibility. And the third kind of cost and risk reduction approach is enlightened value maximization, wherein it focuses on long term corporate value maximization occurring through management of trade-off between the stakeholders. Now, the second one, competitive advantage, that is adapting and leveraging opportunities. How? By supply and demand theory of the firm, base of the pyramid approaches, and natural resource based view of the firm. This is the second approach of business strategy for corporate social responsibility. That is what it does. All its whatever activities it undertakes, whatever strategies it formulates, what it does, it tries to see that any kind of activities towards fulfillment of corporate social responsibility should ultimately result into having competitive advantage over other companies in the industry. Now, developing reputation and legitimacy, this is the third. This is focused on exploiting corporate social responsibility activities to create value through gains from firm's reputation. It is by firm's reputation. So, corporate social responsibility is not only by the profits that the company is having, but also the overall image of the company, the overall reputation of the company, the impression that the company has. That also leads to increase, enhanced reputation, and thus leads to that is why is it doing it? It is trying to contribute towards the society with the objective that its reputation, its legitimacy will enhance. So it is not doing this to actually help the society. No. Its ultimate objective is that by helping the society, my reputation will increase. My image, it considers it as an image building exercise. It stresses on business value creation by leveraging gains in reputation and legitimacy by aligning stakeholder interests. The company aligns towards the stakeholder interests. For what? So that it creates values, and thus which again contributes to enhancing the reputation. Now, this may be achieved through license to operate, and it is achieved through cost related marketing. What is license to operate? It is the formal license from the government. To operate is not enough. We say that just not the corporate license is enough. The social license is also required. That is the license that the community is giving to it. Indirectly, the community is giving license to the company to operate, is also required in the form of local social services. As I said, indirectly, the kind of social services the company is doing, the kind of infrastructure development, infrastructure building it is doing, the kind of community building services it is doing, the kind of activities that is helping it to engage with the organization, that helping it, engaging with the society, that basically acts as a social license for the company to thrive, to grow in the society. The second is by cause related marketing. Consumers are more aware, so want to know the company values, ethics, HR policies, employee relations. So what it does, how it behaves with its employees, how it manages its human resources, what kind of ethical policies it adopts, what kind of ethics it adopts, what kind of values it adopts, what is its mission, what is its vision. Well, all this, the consumers, they want to know of that. So the consumers are not only concerned with good quality products. I said this some time back. They are not only concerned with good quality products, they are also concerned with how the company is managing its human resources. Does its activity have any kind of detrimental effect on the environment? Let's say there is a very good hotel, and the hotel is right near the seashore, but so the tourists who are coming and staying in that hotel, they will not only be concerned with the kind of services they are getting in the hotel, they would also be concerned with any kind of ecological disbalance that the hotel is causing. They would be concerned about that. So what will happen? The reputation will be spoilt of the hotel. The reputation is at stake. So the company will not try to do any activity, will not try to implement any strategy wherein its reputation, its overall image, overall impression gets affected negatively. Now, creating value for multiple stakeholders. See, marketing is not restricted to company but society as a whole. So, by way of uh, by way of this approach, by way of this approach of business strategy for CSR, the company what is trying to do, it is not only marketing towards promoting the product, but also marketing towards improving the society. Well, today today we have studied the chapter unit 5 and unit 6 of business ethics and corporate social responsibility. In the next session, that is the fourth session, we will study about corporate social responsibility in the global context, how globally it is seen, and we will also, as a part of the unit 8, we will see business ethics and corporate social responsibility linkages, that is the relationship between business ethics and corporate social responsibility. Thank you so much. All the best in your endeavors, in your academic endeavors. Namaskar.